Time to take a look at the Exodia Contagion Arcane that came with Plague Star. So yeah, I've got 10 of them. Looking at the ranks. After a bullet jump or double jump, an air melee launches a projectile that explodes on impact. So that's just attacking in midair. You can see as you go up the ranks, the damage goes up by 100% each time, although it sticks to the 30-meter distance. So we'll test that out a bit. I'm going to, well, firstly, show you that it can be installed on a regular Zaw that has no plague components. It can be distilled like a regular arcane. And I'm just going to throw all 10 of them onto my rapier that came with the event, that I made from the event. Contagion. Then we will jump into the simulacrum and do a bit of testing. Alright. And alright. Let's show you my build, which is the generic one that I've been using the whole time. Bit of crit, bit of status. It's got corrosive and the weapon itself has built-in viral. Although I tested with the other arcane and it will proc viral even without having it on the weapon, so if you don't have a Plague Zaw it will still work just fine. Now just spawn in 8 butchers at maximum level. I'll just do a bit of a damage test against these guys before we try anything else. So 1684, 1249. Seems to be proccing impact, so it's got base damage of impact. It's proccing viral and corrosive pretty consistently. I'd say it seems corrosive is a bit more than viral, but impact is definitely more than both. And the damage is not particularly good. I suppose they are level 150. Might just spawn them at 100, which is 43 level. See how much of a difference that makes. So used to bringing that up to 150. So kill everything, spawn more. So these enemies are very lightly armored. Explosion isn't too impressive. The projectile itself, when it actually lands, seems to do a lot more when it actually comes into contact with an enemy. It's interesting. Spawn a few more in. It was a bit unwieldy to use, I must say. Looks like I can do headshot damage as well. So I'd guess, I'd say the projectile, if the projectile is doing 100% damage, it feels like the explosion's doing maybe 30%, 25. I don't really have the numbers to back that up, but that's how it feels. Obviously melee itself is more effective. Test quick melee. It does work with quick melee. It's good. Might spawn a heavy so I can test condition overload on it as well. Oops. My Zacti is built for gas, corrosive and blast, same as in the last video. Assuming you watched it. Put 3 of those guys in. Honestly, can't really tell if that's making a difference. Alright. Seems to have some crazy drop on it as well. Let's just kill everything. No, the drop's not that bad. Quite a long way. There's a little explosion halfway through its flight time. I guess that's when it reaches 30 meters. Yeah, seems about right. So that signifies when the damage multiplier kicks in. Let's try out on a stealth frame. Let's see if that makes a difference. I'd say yes, that definitely is. And condition overload is having an effect. Interesting. Try it with a blind as well, although if it is working with that, I assume it will. Yep. It's also worth noting that the energy color of the blade is affected by the energy color you have on your weapon. I quite like it in white. I've seen a few people using it, just doing bounties and stuff. And it looks like you're throwing an ethereal sword. Quite like the look of. I also believe this has self-damage. Waiting for my invulnerability thing up the top to expire. Didn't realize that wouldn't let me damage myself. Don't know why I spawn those enemies. It definitely has self-damage. Definitely procced Vial, procced Impact. It also procced Berserker, which is interesting. Viral. There's a corrosive proc too. Heal up real quick. Much as Viral will let me. So the damage, it's doing like 150-ish. It's not that big of a deal, but the Viral and corrosive procs could be quite dangerous, particularly the Viral. Get rid of them. Now I don't know if Reach or Fury has an effect, so let's find out. Let's chuck Reach on there. Drop still looks the same to me. Yeah, looks the same. And the movement speed of it looked the same as well. Maybe not. Hard to tell, you can judge for yourself. I feel like it's faster, but that may just be my brain playing tricks on me. I want to find out if the combo counter does anything. Just chuck those on. Spawn in maybe just one of these guys so it's a bit easier to keep track of. So we're doing 5 impact on a direct hit. So I'm not invulnerable. Settings. I get myself killed. Yeah, so 5 like that. Just hit him until we get maybe 2 times. Again, hard to tell on that guy. Still doing 5. Alright. Combo counter does nothing. It's irrelevant. The stealth through blind, what else is there? Exalted weapon, try that. Put a proper build back on. Got enemies out there. It's still working. Trying to hit them without letting the wave hit them. It's definitely working. Also, I noticed that it's a bit finicky and it's aiming, so I'll just do quick attacks. When I start it, it doesn't go in the direction that I'm facing when I actually swing my weapon. It goes in the direction that I'm looking. About a second and a half after I swing my weapon. I'm looking this way, swing that way, and throw it over there. I don't know why my slide isn't working. Right in the rift. Limbo. It's definitely hitting them, but I can't tell if the actual projectile is doing damage as well. Or if it's just the explosion. I think they are both doing damage because you see multiple instances when it actually hits. The projectile and the explosion are obviously doing their own instance of damage. We try that on the Siren as well. I need a group of them, which is I'm back at 150. Yep, so the explosion itself does pop them. And if it refunds energy. Does not. Same as the other arcane. I'm just going to jump on Chroma, take some damage, and just see how much it can actually dish out. Kill them. Turn that off. Spawn. 2 of them and 2 of them. Hopefully they don't get wrecked. Oh wow. Obviously it's more Chroma than the weapon. Some pretty crazy damage numbers. I remember these guys are level 150. But without Chroma, if I did that on Nova. I suppose we'll try it with Nova, with and without Molecular Prime. But I'll have to turn that back on. I'll kill them, you twit. It's not great on armored enemies without some kind of damage buff. Also molecular prime making that twice as effective. That's still not really worth using when you can just dice them. Can't really think of anything else worth testing. I'm having trouble hitting enemies that are down. Yeah. Bit of a gimmick. Unless you're going to use it to like lob a grenade into a group of enemies before you actually get in there to apply a few procs to buff condition overload. Bit of a knockdown, some corrosive and some impact. There's definitely some viral in there. Even at over 30 meters, the damage is nothing spectacular. Where is he? 23. 28. Let's toss one up here. It's stripping his armor, so it's doing more and more damage each time. But just compared to what the weapon is capable of doing on its own, it's nothing special. I wonder if Limbo's stasis will hold it. It doesn't really seem to be a weapon attack or an ability. Need to spawn enemies. No, so that travel's fine. I suppose it's useful for killing like this, if you have a reason to do so. Not really sure what that reason would be, except playing with some fun mechanics. I'll probably make a sortie video doing this. Sortie survival, maybe. Interesting. Well, I think, as a summary, it's alright. Again, both the arcanes are okay. They're nothing really to write home about. They have some situational uses, but they're definitely not necessary. They're not something that I would definitely recommend that you get immediately. If you like the look of it, I suppose you can make the most of it.